Battle Through the Heavens Season 5 Episode 119. Xiao Yan had made a promise to Ye Xinlan, and he was finally starting to fulfill it. The Cao family, along with their renowned witch, was also making their first appearance. Previously, at the Alchemist Exchange Conference, Xiao Yan had stumbled upon an ancient bronze piece that unexpectedly revealed the secret to cultivating soul power. Through dedicated cultivation, Xiao Yan's soul power had significantly increased. He speculated that reaching the level of an 8-star alchemist was only a matter of time. However, the assessment day for the 5 great families had arrived. Led by Ye Zhong, Xiao Yan and his companions set off for the assessment area located in the inner domain of Shengdan City. Their arrival was met with ridicule from some due to the Ye family's precarious situation. Failing the assessment would mean losing their place among the top 5 families, leaving them vulnerable to rivals eager to take their place and align themselves with the influential Dan Tower. Ye Zhong was acutely aware of their predicament. He had poured all his efforts into restoring the Ye family's former glory, placing all his hopes on Xiao Yan. Failure this time would be disastrous. At the front of the hall were seats reserved for the 4 prominent families: Dan, Chao, Bai, and Chu. Xiao Yan noticed a familiar face among the Dan family. The enigmatic individual he had encountered during the Fenda test. This person exuded an aura of importance despite their gentle demeanor. However, it was Dan Xuan, not this enigmatic figure, who would be representing the Dan family in the competition. According to Ye Zhong, both Dan Xuan and Bai Ying from the Bai family were 7-star peak alchemists, while the Chu family's representative was only a 7-star low-level alchemist. As they spoke, the Cao family arrived, led by the alluring Cao Ying, a woman known as the Witch of the Cao family. Her captivating presence enthralled many in the hall. Not only was she the apprentice of a Danta giant, but she was also considered a potential future giant herself. If this were to come to pass, she would be the youngest female giant in the Pill Tower's history. Following the Cao family's arrival, a vigorous white-haired old man named Sheng Yao, the chief examiner, made his appearance. Xiao Yan sensed an inexplicable pressure emanating from him, suggesting that there was more to him than met the eye. Sheng Yao addressed the crowd, inviting the representatives of the 5 great families to enter. As Xiao Yan and his companions made their way into the venue, he was surprised to see that the Cao family's representative was not Cao Ying, but her brother Cao Shu. While not as powerful as his sister, Cao Shu was said to be an exceptional alchemist in his own right, also a 7-star peak alchemist. The assessors from the remaining 4 families were Shan Xuan from the Shan family, Bai Ying from the Bai family, and Cao Shu from the Cao family. All 3 were 7-star intermediate alchemists. Only Chu Ji, representing the Chu family, was a 7-star low-level alchemist. Elder Sheng surveyed the 5 contestants, pausing momentarily as his gaze fell upon Xiao Yan. He had heard whispers of this young man, stories his wife held in high regard. Sheng Yao and the Ye family shared a history of friendship. However, their connection had waned over the years as the Ye family, grappling with their decline, made fewer appearances in Shengdan City. Despite this, Elder Sheng had advocated for them, recognizing their plight, and his intervention had afforded them a fighting chance. Gesturing towards a towering crystal stele behind him, Elder Sheng announced the commencement of the examination. The assessment comprised 3 parts, the first being a test of soul power. Participants were required to infuse the stele with their soul power, which would then display a numerical value representing their soul strength. A score of 400 or higher was considered a passing mark. In recent years, the highest score achieved was an astounding 976, a record set by Cao Ying. With the rules established, the assessment began. A hush fell over the hall. Chu Ji from the Chu family was the first to step forward. As he channeled his soul power into the stele, the blood-red numbers surged, ultimately settling at 707. A collective gasp rippled through the audience. Even some seasoned 7-star intermediate alchemists struggled to attain such a score. Observing from the sidelines, Xiao Yan contemplated the result. While Chu Ji possessed formidable soul power, his score was significantly lower than Cao Ying's accomplishment from years past. It highlighted the sheer magnitude of her talent. He couldn't help but wonder about the heights her abilities had reached in the intervening time. Next, Bai Ying and Cao Shu took their turn, achieving scores of 785 and 846, respectively, eliciting gasps of awe from the onlookers. Then, it was Shan Xuan's turn. As he unleashed his potent soul power, the stele pulsed with energy, the numbers skyrocketing past 800 and finally halting at an impressive 903. A stunned silence descended upon the hall, followed by an eruption of excited murmurs. It was clear that Shan Xuan, the heir apparent of the Shan family, possessed exceptional talent. Even Elder Sheng couldn't help but acknowledge his prowess with a look of admiration. As the commotion subsided, all eyes focused on the last remaining figure, Xiao Yan. The weight of expectation pressed heavily upon him. The Ye family, including Ye Zhong, watched with bated breath. Failing to secure a place among the top 3 in the first round would mean disqualification from the subsequent stages. Cao Ying, radiating an aura of captivating allure, observed Xiao Yan intently. She, too, was curious if this young man, shrouded in whispers of greatness, could truly be the Ye family's savior. Under the scrutiny of the entire hall, Xiao Yan took a measured breath and stepped forward. With a gentle touch, he placed his palm upon the cool surface of the stele. As a remarkable prodigy, Xiao Yan excelled not only in martial arts, where his dominance was evident throughout the Zhongzhou Road, but also in alchemy, surpassing the younger generations of the 5 great families. Faced with such an exceptional talent, these geniuses couldn't help but feel a surge of frustration. With the aim of assisting the Yi family in reclaiming their esteemed position among the Danta elders, Xiao Yan, under Ye Zhong's guidance, arrived at the assessment venue for the 5 great families. The first round of the soul power test had been completed by the younger members of the other 4 families. Chu Ji from the Chu family with 707, Bai Ying from the Bai family with 785, Cao Shu from the Cao family with 846, and the highest scorer, Shan Xuan from the Shan family, with an impressive 903. All eyes were now fixated on Xiao Yan as he made his way towards the stele, his performance holding the fate of the Ye family in the balance. Elder Sheng, acutely aware of the stakes, reminded Xiao Yan that a top 3 finish, surpassing Bai Ying's score of 785, was crucial for the Ye family to advance. Otherwise, their exclusion from the 5 great families was inevitable. Xiao Yan, acutely aware of the weight upon his shoulders, closed his eyes and placed his hand on the stele. An immense surge of soul pressure erupted from him, distorting the surrounding space. Elder Sheng, witnessing this unprecedented display, was taken aback, recalling a similar, albeit weaker, surge from Cao Ying during her assessment. Unprepared for Xiao Yan's power, Dan Xuan and the others retreated hastily. Cao Ying, observing from the Cao family's seat, was equally surprised. She had underestimated Xiao Yan, realizing her misjudgment. The invisible storm of soul power dissipated after a brief but intense surge, revealing a staggering score of 1,395. The hall was filled with gasps of astonishment. This score surpassed even Cao Ying's record, set years ago, by over 300 points. Cao Ying had earned the title of witch for her achievement, yet here was Xiao Yan shattering that record. Cao Ying, intrigued by this unexpected turn of events, couldn't help but acknowledge the presence of exceptional individuals within Zhuangzhou, individuals she had previously overlooked. Elder Sheng, his gaze fixated on Xiao Yan, understood the true significance of the score. A score of 1,395 indicated that Xiao Yan possessed the soul power equivalent of a 7-star high-level alchemist. After Cao Ying, the Danta had unearthed another monstrous talent. However, Elder Sheng remained grounded, acknowledging that Cao Ying's record was set a few years prior. She must have reached even more terrifying heights by now. Unbeknownst to all, Xiao Yan had subtly suppressed his soul power during the initial surge. He was a firm believer in the art of deception. Elder Sheng announced the conclusion of the first round, declaring Xiao Yan, representing the Ye family, as the clear victor. He then introduced the next assessment, soul control. Retrieving a jet-black iron ball known as the soul measuring bead from his inner world, he prepared the contestants for the next challenge. Sheng Yao explained that while obtaining the soul measuring beads might seem straightforward, their weight was amplified when handled using soul power. The second assessment involved catching as many soul measuring beads as possible from a cascade released from the ceiling using only soul power, with fighting spirit strictly prohibited. Cao Ying currently held the record with an impressive 89 beads. As expected, all eyes turned to Xiao Yan, curious to see if he could surpass Cao Ying's accomplishment yet again. Anticipation crackled in the air. Elder Sheng, after confirming the contestants' readiness, initiated the trial. The soul measuring beads rained down, prompting Xiao Yan and the others to dodge reflexively. The moment Xiao Yan attempted to grasp the first bead, he felt an unexpected weight, realizing the challenging nature of this round. Bai Ying and Qiu Ji struggled to control the beads with their dispersed soul power, their movements clumsy. On the other hand, Cao Xiu and Dan Xuan, demonstrating superior control, quickly adapted to the challenge. With the initial surprise overcome, Xiao Yan's movements became increasingly fluid, effortlessly gathering the beads. However, as the cascade continued, both Qiu Ji and Bai Ying found themselves overwhelmed and were forced to concede defeat with scores of 31 and 43 beads, respectively. Soon after, Cao Xiu also withdrew, having secured 56 beads. The competition was now between Xiao Yan and Dan Xuan. As the soul measuring beads relentlessly descended, Dan Xuan's frustration grew evident. After persevering for a few minutes, he finally relented, settling for a commendable 66 beads. With Dan Xuan's withdrawal, Xiao Yan halted his efforts, allowing the remaining beads to fall around him. Elder Sheng announced Xiao Yan as the victor with a score of 93 beads. Dan Xuan and the others could only manage wry smiles. Xiao Yan's composure throughout the trial made it clear that he had not even reached his full potential. The realization that their abilities paled in comparison to Xiao Yan was a bitter pill to swallow for these geniuses. Xiao Yan's performance had not only secured the Ye family's place, but had also earned him a standing ovation from the captivated audience. Cao Ying, a spark of excitement igniting within her, had found a worthy opponent in Xiao Yan, a rare occurrence for her. The last time she felt such a thrill was when she encountered Dan Chen, a prodigious young woman from the Dan family. Elder Sheng, his face beaming with pride, praised Xiao Yan's exceptional achievement. Surpassing Cao Ying's record by 4 points without even utilizing his full capabilities was a testament to his extraordinary talent. The second round concluded with Xiao Yan claiming first place, followed by Dan Xuan in second and Cao Xiu in third. Ye Zhang and Xinlan, their faces etched with joy, couldn't contain their smiles. Xiao Yan's performance had surpassed their wildest expectations. Sheng Yao, emphasizing the importance of a strong soul for an alchemist, announced the final assessment. He directed their attention to a spacious red circle designated for the final test, a battle of soul power. The 5 finalists were to engage in a contest of pure soul manipulation within the confines of the circle. The last one standing would be declared the victor. As the finalists prepared themselves, a sudden chuckle resonated through the hall, interrupting the proceedings. A request was made on behalf of the Cao family to switch contestants mid-competition, casting an unexpected turn of events. Xiao Yan's first soul power confrontation with Cao Ying, the renowned witch of the Cao family, proved to be a spectacle. Cao Ying unleashed an ancient soul mark that even Yao Lao, observing from within the ring, found troublesome. Xiao Yan's performance in the first 2 rounds had been nothing short of extraordinary. He had dominated the competition, surpassing even the record set by Cao Ying. As the third and final round commenced, the 5 finalists were to engage in a soul power battle within a designated red circle. The last one remaining within its boundaries declared the victor. However, just as the contestants were about to enter the circle, Cao Ying requested to replace her brother, Cao Xiu. The announcement sparked a stir among the spectators, particularly those eager to witness Xiao Yan's potential downfall at the hands of the formidable Cao Ying. Elder Sheng, acknowledging the Cao family's right to substitute a player according to the rules, granted their request. He suspected that Cao Ying's sudden decision was motivated by a desire to test Xiao Yan's abilities and, more importantly, to demoralize him. Xiao Yan, accepting the challenge with a smile, gracefully agreed to Cao Ying's proposal, recognizing the importance of sportsmanship. With the stage set, the 5 contestants entered the red circle. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation as the five unleashed their soul power. Xiao Yan and Cao Ying, their composure unwavering, withstood the initial surge with minimal effort. However, the remaining three contestants, caught off guard by the intensity, were visibly shaken. Xiao Yan's focus remained steadfast on Cao Ying, anticipating a direct assault. He had prepared himself for this moment. Meanwhile, Dan Xuan and the other two contestants, realizing their disadvantage against the overwhelming soul power of Xiao Yan and Cao Ying, accepted their roles as mere bystanders in this clash of titans. Cao Ying, her charming smile widening, acknowledged Xiao Yan's resilience. Finding a worthy adversary was a rare and exhilarating experience for her. With a swift sequence of hand seals, Cao Ying gathered her soul power, shaping it into a majestic soul phoenix. The very air around her crackled with energy, revealing tiny fissures in space as the phoenix lunged towards Xiao Yan. Unfazed by the attack, Xiao Yan met the soul phoenix head-on with a surge of his own soul power, condensing it into a colossal fist. The impact reverberated through the arena, creating a vortex of soul power that forced Xiao Yan back 3 steps. Cao Ying, displaying her superior control, conceded only 2 steps. The spectators watched in awe, astonished by Xiao Yan's ability to withstand a direct confrontation with the formidable Cao Ying. However, the true victims of this clash were the other 3 contestants. Swept aside by the maelstrom of soul power, they found themselves several meters from their original positions, their hopes of winning dashed. Recognizing their predicament, Shan Xuan and Chu Ji conceded defeat, exiting the red circle. Only Bai Ying, his pride wounded, remained, determined to salvage some semblance of dignity. Today, he had been relegated to a supporting role in Xiao Yan's narrative, a bitter truth he struggled to accept. Bai Ying, unable to accept his diminished role in this competition, let out a frustrated growl. Cao Ying's sole focus on Xiao Yan fueled his anger. Jealousy and resentment twisting his features, he unleashed a surprise attack, condensing his soul power into a venomous soul python aimed directly at Xiao Yan. Unperturbed by the sudden assault, Xiao Yan effortlessly countered the attack with a wave of his hand. The soul python shattered upon impact, the force of the blow sending Bai Ying flying backward, his soul wounded. Unfazed, Xiao Yan turned his attention back to Cao Ying. Her captivating smile, while alluring, also sent a shiver down his spine. It reminded him of a predator sizing up its prey. Cao Ying, impressed by Xiao Yan's display of power, acknowledged his hidden potential. She had suspected that he had been holding back in the previous rounds. Now, with only the 2 of them remaining, she urged him to unleash his full strength, promising to yield if he could withstand 3 strikes from her soul Xuanyan palm. Cao Ying's words held a double meaning. Even if Xiao Yan were to surrender at that moment, he would still secure 2nd place, guaranteeing the Ye family's position. The decision was his. Choose the easy way out or face her head-on. Xiao Yan, his pride piqued, met Cao Ying's gaze. Retreat was not in his nature, especially when it clashed with his image as the defiant 3rd prince of the Wutan city. He would face her challenge head-on. With a graceful flourish of her hand, Cao Ying gathered her soul power, the air around her buzzing with energy. Xiao Yan watched intently, sensing the difference in power compared to the soul phoenix attack. This technique, she explained, was an ancient soul mark passed down through generations of alchemists. It possessed the ability to amplify the potency of soul power far beyond its normal limits. Xiao Yan, his curiosity piqued, recalled Venerable Tianhua mentioning soul marks. However, the soul marks described by Venerable Tianhua were cultivation techniques, not attack methods. This revelation raised an intriguing question. Were there different categories of soul marks, each serving a specific purpose? Regardless of the answer, Xiao Yan knew he had to face Cao Ying's attack head-on. As she unleashed her soul Xuanyan palm, a surge of soul power tore through the air, creating a visible rift in space. Xiao Yan, summoning his own soul power, met the attack head-on. The force of the impact sent him hurtling backward, finally coming to a stop 10 meters from his original position. Cao Ying, surprised that he had withstood the blow, realized she had underestimated him. That attack would have severely injured even a seasoned 7-star high-level alchemist. A flicker of admiration crossed her eyes. Cao Ying, accustomed to being the strongest among her peers, had only encountered one other individual who could match her prowess: Dan Chen, a young prodigy from the Dan family. With Dan Chen's reclusive nature, encounters were rare. Now, however, it seemed she had found a worthy opponent in Xiao Yan. With renewed determination, Cao Ying prepared another attack, this time channeling even greater soul power. Xiao Yan, intrigued by the intricacies of Cao Ying's soul manipulation, noticed something peculiar as she prepared her attack. When he focused his gaze, infused with his heavenly flame, he realized he could perceive the normally lightning-fast movements of her soul power manipulation in much greater detail. It was as if time had slowed down, allowing him to dissect and analyze each subtle movement. The realization struck him like a bolt of lightning. The encounter with Cao Ying had inadvertently unlocked a new level of understanding within him. He could now decipher the complexities of soul power manipulation that had previously eluded him. Just as he arrived at this epiphany, Cao Ying unleashed her attack. Though he was able to defend himself, it was a struggle. If not for his quick reflexes, he would have been thrown out of the ring. His eyes, however, burned with a newfound intensity. He had glimpsed a new level of mastery. Cao Ying, noticing the shift in Xiao Yan's demeanor, prepared her most powerful attack yet. As she gathered her soul power, Xiao Yan mirrored her movements, replicating the intricate hand gestures and the flow of energy. Cao Ying's eyes widened in shock. The technique that Xiao Yan was displaying was identical to her own. Please give us a like and subscribe, fellow Taoists. Let's continue our chat in the next episode.